Good morning. Thank you for joining us for another podcast for Trailblazers Inc. Joining us today is Courtney Chard from UA Local 46 in Toronto, Ontario. She is a pipe welder and a metal artist and also a kick-ass ambassador. So could you explain all of those things and let us, tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. Good morning. Okay, so I'm a second generation pipe welder. So growing up, my father was a pipeline welder with UA Local 46 Toronto. So he also had a fabrication shop on our property. So I was fortunate enough to be exposed and to be around the trades from birth. My father is very proud of what he did, and that showed. Like he really was. He thought his job was something special. He loved doing it. And he also was encouraging to other welders. He would teach a lot of welders coming up through the ranks to get on pipeline. So I was definitely exposed to it. However, I didn't go that way right away because, again, in school, you were taught you go to college or university, and the trades weren't really an option. They weren't something that was discussed in my school. Like, you could be a vet, you could be a police officer, fireman, those typical jobs, but the trades were not an option. So graduating high school, I just went and I said, okay, I'm going to go through the book for the college courses and just pick something, because you're expected to go to college and you're expected to complete college and graduate college, and that's what you have to do. So I picked law and security with Sheridan College. Immediately hated it. It was a 2-year program, so I thought, oh, it's only 2 years. I don't know really what I want to do. I'll stick it out. Stuck it out, graduated, because that's what you're supposed to do. And then upon graduation, I kind of got like this fear, like, oh my gosh, like panic. I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I just thought, I knew I wanted the life that my parents had. So I knew that I wanted to be able to have a nice house and to have security financially. I wanted to be able to afford things and have, nice things. So then I was like, okay, I always want to do something different. And I always thought construction, it just caught my eye. I thought it was neat, different. So I got enough courage, because again, I'm 42. So it was around, year 2000, I started getting these, inklings that I was going to do this. And I go, I'm going to ask my dad. I'm going to tell my dad, I want to get in the trade. And his response was, okay, get in the shop. And he taught me how to weld. So then the plan was always that I would join the union, Local 46, like my father. That was always the plan, because again, I had a father, a parent in the trade, and that's, he was union, that's what you did, and it was a good apprenticeship program. So until they did the intake, because in the union, they have certain times a year they will take apprentices. So you have to wait till those intakes happen. So I would take night school courses, because I was working part-time in a restaurant. So I would take night school courses at night or on the weekends, welding, because my dad could teach me, sure, but I wouldn't have the paperwork, the documentation to prove it. So taking those courses, I had the documentation. And then when I did apply to get into the apprentice intake, I had all those courses, and they actually benefited me. It took time off my apprenticeship. So I did do a full apprenticeship for a steam fitter. And then so I'm a licensed red seal steam fitter, because the steam fitting and welding go hand in hand. And then I believe when I was a 3rd year steam fitter, I was then allowed to do the 3-year welding apprenticeship alongside. So it ended up, I pretty much completed them the same time.
Perfect. So are you dual ticket then?
I am dual ticketed, yes. I did go, and so in Ontario, you do not, it's not mandatory that you have to have a red seal, but I did go and write my red seal for welding.
For both trades?
Yes. Yes.
That's fabulous. You don't meet a lot of people with dual certifications. My father and my uncle are both dual as well. So it's not unheard of, but that's fabulous. Good for you. That's really,
Thank
really
you.
incredible.
And it
So
really
you've
comes.
been in the trades.
No, go ahead. Oh, it really comes in handy, actually. Sorry, there's a bit of a lag. We're in two different provinces. So yeah, it really comes in handy. You can switch back and forth, right? In our hall. So it's helped if there isn't so much welding, I could go on a shutdown as a steam fitter, whatever, right?
No, that's fabulous. I mean, yeah, I mean, having dual certification does open more doors, like you were just saying. And when you're actually on the tools, no matter if you're acting as a welder or acting as a fitter, having that knowledge base just makes you, I don't know, a more well-rounded, tradesperson, right?
It does, and it really helps because lots of times I will make a suggestion, like if the fitter's stumped, I'll say, well, this is how I would do it, and it helps. Or um, and you respect the other trade more. So as a steam fitter, I have respect for the welder because I know what they're dealing with, and then vice versa. As a welder, I have respect for the steam fitter, and I know every weld isn't gonna, or every joint, or every tie-in is not gonna be perfect. So it gives you good perspective.
Absolutely. No, I hear you there for sure. So you've been in the trade about 20 years?
Yeah, so I got in 2002, yes.
That's great. That is really, really fabulous. Now, I have a list of questions here that I have sent to you already. I'm going to go through them. It sounds a bit, like a script that I'm reading, but I am interested in how far have you gone in your trade? You told me you're a metal artist. If you want to, share a little bit about that, that would be great.
I am a metal artist, so I've always been artistic. Like it's always been kind of something that I've been able to do. But of course, I was raised where you can't make money in art. So I I enjoy welding, and I think welding used to be actually classified as an art. So, and you hear it, the art of welding. So that kind of um, gave me that outlet. And then when I developed my trade, I was exploring the artistic side again. And I found out that I'm quite good at it and people like my stuff. So, and I find it a very good escape. It's almost like maybe I could compare it to a meditation because when I'm creating my art, I'm not thinking about anything. It's of no mind. You're just doing. And I find it a very calm place. And it's kind of neat. You're like leaving almost a permanent record behind. And just to have people want to buy my things and display them, it's wonderful. So that's one aspect that's I've kind of expanded on, and that's just been this year. I've also had the trades given me opportunities to be able to speak to others and educate and explore, and that's through Kick-Ass Careers. My daughter and I are ambassadors for them, and that's what we do. We educate youth about careers and skilled trades, and that's opened a lot of doors for us. We work with Skills Ontario, and we right now with COVID, we're doing little short films that can be shown in the school, and we'll introduce the students to welding that way because you and I grew up around welding. We know what a welder is, but lots of people, if you tell them what you do, they like look at you like blank. They don't know what a welder is. They're like, what is that? And I'm like, are you kidding, right? But it's true. They're just not exposed and they don't know. So we bring awareness to youth that wouldn't have the opportunity. And hopefully they get to hear at a young age, like I didn't, that the trades are available to them. And also in my union, I seem to get lots of opportunities in my union. And politically, I'm getting involved there. And I ran for executive board and I was voted in by the members, which has been wonderful because, as a woman, when you put yourself out there, it's a large membership. I think we're above 9,000 members. And you're like, okay, are they ready for a woman to be in a position like that? And my membership answered, and they are more than ready. And that was wonderful. So you
Well,
can go far.
yes. When did you get voted in? How long have you been on the executive board?
So there's a bit of a delay with the election itself, but I believe the results were in at the end of October. So that happened
So
in
just
October.
you're just See, are you the first woman on your executive board ever in the history of
Yes,
Local 46?
yes. However, we did have a woman as recording secretary before. So, but yes, first woman on the
That's
executive board.
It's really funny you would say that. I didn't know that previously. We just had our elections, and as of this morning, I've been elected to my executive board at Local 496 in Calgary. First
That's great.
ever. That's so strange. I mean, I can relate to you. It's like there's this mirror. I'm looking at you, and it's like this mirror. I have a child. I'm a single mom. My son wants to be in the trade, executive board, artistic welding. I used to have a business called sorry, I used to teach creative ironwork, and I used to have a business called Twisted Steel. So I am so relating to you this morning. I mean, we've met before. For those that are watching the podcast, we've met before, but we really didn't spend a lot of time together. But this is like incredible. I'm loving your story so far. And good for you. You know, executive, when you get elected to the executive board, it shows you how the people respect you, right? How the
Yes.
membership respects you, because you're voted in. Like, people decide that. You don't just apply for the job and then somebody says you're qualified and you're hired. It's a whole
No.
different thing. So that is really, really fabulous. Good for you. That's wonderful. So does your daughter want to be a welder as well?
Um, she says she does, and she seems to really, so she's a bit of a tomboy, and she seems to um, like that sort of thing. She likes construction. Uh, do I expect her to be one? No. What I do is expect that I want to educate all people. So maybe my daughter is going to be a teacher one day, or maybe she'll be a parent. And then that's where the education comes in. Then maybe she can recognize and see something in another and direct them. Because she's always going to have that respect for the trades. She knows, you know, her grandfather was a welder. She's very proud of that fact. She's proud of the fact that her mom's a welder. She's proud of, she says she was born into construction because I worked while I was pregnant with her. She knows that. So she has this pride, and it shows. So am I gonna expect that she goes in the trades? No. But she's definitely gonna be in a position where she could influence someone or direct them into the trade if she sees that ability in them.
That's great. Yeah, so she's an ambassador.
She
Exactly, right?
is. She's, yes.
No, that's incredible. That's incredible. So you've already explained why you picked the trade of choice. And it's really exciting to hear that you saw, you know, the whole steam fitter aspect and went for that as well. That's really exciting. And you know, I think a big part of being a woman in the trades too, that other people, you know, there's a lot of people that are nervous about, especially women are nervous about joining the trades, but you sound like, you know, again, I can totally relate to, you know, do what you want to do. There's really, I mean, there was nothing in the way for you and I. There are women that are very hesitant about joining the trades, thinking, oh, I can't do that. And, oh, what do people say? And they're afraid of being judged. But you've just proven that, you know what, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to do it. You know, you wanted to get a steam ticket, you got a steam ticket. You wanted to get a welding ticket, you got a welding ticket, all the way to Red Seal, right? So, I mean, good on you. That just that part of your story, I think, is just incredible and very important to highlight, and it's very important to share.
Thank you.
So now let's talk obstacles. What kind of obstacles have you found, and how did you overcome them?
So obviously there's going to be obstacles. I didn't, and I got into the trade knowing there would be. So I had enough awareness that, because yeah, in 2002, there was hardly anyone in the trades. Now I go onto sites and I see more women in the trades. Certain trades seem to have more women. I find the electrical trades seem to have more women. So that seems to be a theme too. They seem to gravitate to certain trades. I don't know really why that is. Maybe they think it's easier, like weight wise or work wise. I tell people not to be scared of heavy lifting. I go, the heavier the stuff, the better, because nobody can lift it. So you have to have a chain fall or you have to have a forklift. I go, it's almost worse when the stuff's lighter, because then they expect you to lift it. So I always, that's a big myth. And women seem to, in our local, get told to be plumbers because it's lighter, but it's not, because they never get equipment. Whereas if you're a steam fitter and there's like 20-inch pipe, a guy ain't lifting it. So, so that's what I say. That's completely false. You want to do the heavy stuff because there's equipment. But a lot of the challenges have been, obviously like the bathrooms aren't ideal. It's, there, certain times women may want better bathrooms. That can be challenging. There's obviously, yes, I've gotten, men who think that I shouldn't get the same pay as them. But the biggest challenge, I think, is my own obstacles that I have put, like, especially when I was younger. I think it was more me, like the expectations I had. I thought I had to be smarter, better, everything. I thought I had to, I was in competition with everyone because I was a woman. So I think a lot of that was my age and maturity, and just realizing I do my best. I do my best every day. And some days my best was getting out of bed, and that was it, and showing up to work. So I think a lot of those challenges were on myself. And then when I had my daughter, I was with a company for a very long time. I became pregnant, planned. She was planned, and I was scared to tell them I was pregnant, and because I didn't know how they would respond. And that was the most challenging time. And I was shocked by it because I was established, I had a good reputation, I was with the company, and they didn't know what to do with me. And I don't know, she's 7 now, almost 8, so I don't know if things have changed in the industry. I don't know anyone who's become pregnant in that time, but I said, can I go in the office? They said no, and they were forcing me to take an early leave. Now, I did work up to 6 weeks before having her, and so I did leave 6 weeks early because I just couldn't do it anymore. But I was pretty upset at that because, as you know, if you take that time off, that's time off your mat leave. And I wanted the full amount of time I could spend with my daughter while she was born, not me just being pregnant, right? So that kind of was upsetting, that there wasn't something more in place for women who are pregnant in the trades. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I was on the tools when I was pregnant as well, and I chose not to work. That was luckily I had enough money saved where I could do that. I didn't tap into my maternity leave. Now, a lot of the people that listen to the podcast are in the United States, and they don't realize our benefits. But yeah, maternity leave is 35 weeks. And then you have, oh my goodness, what is it called? The 12 weeks or 12, yeah, is it 12 weeks before maternity leave and pregnancy leave? But UA now they rolled it out a year ago, a United Association with which we're both members of, has new benefits to help women that are pregnant while they're in the trades, while they're members of the United Association, to help them. There's a $100 top up per week when you're on maternity leave or parental leave. So that's for fathers and mothers. And then we have, if a company doesn't know what to do with you, like you just said, if you get laid off, if you can't work, but you're still healthy enough to work, UA pays the equivalent of whatever the current EI is, employment insurance, to stay home so that you're safe, right? So yeah, no,
that's
it's a
wonderful.
good benefit. Yeah, and I hope that the other trades will follow, right? The other unions will follow suit. Like, we hope that Boilermakers, iron workers, carpenters, all of them follow suit, because we do need, I mean, we have to continue to work. We need to still be able to pay our bills, but pregnancy is not a disability. Everybody has a right to have a child, right? And we need to keep our members happy. So yeah, and you have to be safe. I mean, there's no job that's worth, possibly causing a miscarriage, right? Because heavy lifting is not recommended by doctors when you're pregnant.
No, it's true. And that's wonderful. And you know what? The title of this podcast, Trailblazers, and that's it, Jill, like you, me, and that's the thing, women before us, women after us. The whole goal is, when you get into the trade, at least my mindset is, you know what, I may have challenges, and I knew I would have challenges, and I just kept thinking, I'm going to make it easier for someone behind me. And that's what I am totally conscious of. So yes, I had challenges, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to make it easier now for the woman behind me or for my daughter. And then that woman will make it easier for her daughter or someone behind her. And we're influencing not just women, we're influencing men, we're influencing young journeymen. So I've had now, oh gosh, I've had so many apprentices under me. And then now they're foremen. And they will say, Courtney, you totally have like, you're part of the reason I am who I am today. And that's like amazing. You're just like, holy crap. Like, you never expect to hear it because it'll come 10 years later and you're thinking, what did I do? I didn't do anything. But you're just yourself. And obviously, you show maybe a little bit of compassion. And then these young men are working side by side with you. They grow up, they're now foremen. So now they're going to get a female apprentice and they're going to remember that. It's going to affect the next generation. Or they're going to have a daughter and they're going to say, you know what, I worked with Courtney, I worked with Jill. Like, yeah, get into the trades. So we're really affecting more than just women. We're affecting men too. And we should be thankful for that, you know?
Absolutely, and I hear you there, because I've been in the trade a long time as well. Um, we do influence other people's opinions on women in the trades, and with me being an instructor, I found that a lot of the students were just floored to have a female welding instructor. They were like, well, what is this, right? But they learn, women are in the trades, and we are very knowledgeable. We're just as knowledgeable as the men in the trades. It's no different. I personally find that I'm harder on myself. So, because I find that we more eyes are on us. So for me, I need to be as professional as I possibly can be. I need to be to the best of my skill level as I possibly can be, not only because I'm a woman, but I'm a fourth generation. So I need to continue that good name that my family has in the trades. But also, we're influencing the women that come behind us as well. Very, very exactly what you just said. It's incredible. But to see the young eyes on us is we got to make sure we're being professional and doing the right things.
For sure. Absolutely.
Yes. So you and I think, could talk for hours as well about, about this kind of
Easily.
stuff, right? So now, another question I have on the list is, were there other women in the trades when you were going through your apprenticeships? Because you've been through two.
Um, so no, there was women in our locals, so they would have been ahead of me. And then I think as I started finishing up, then there started to be more women coming behind me. Then it was actually through my work volunteering through Skills Ontario. So Skills Ontario used to, before COVID, used to have these events where you could go out and there would be like mentorship dinners. So you would go have dinner, you would sit at a table with youth and you would talk about the trades and introduce them to that. They also used to have challenges where we would build something together out of Lego or, a mechanics kit or something like that. So we used to have those events. So through those events, I would meet other women in Ontario who are also in my position. But again, you would meet like one electrician, so or one iron worker, one millwright, and that's how I met Jamie, and then that's how I got my. So it was through volunteering that I met more and more women in the trades and conventions. Like when we met, we were both delegates for our prospective locals and we met. So that's a good way of meeting women for sure. And now I think on Facebook there's different groups like women in the trades and stuff like that. So with social media, it's a little bit easier to connect.
There is, and the more companies or groups that I see, like I am quite involved with Alberta Women in Trades Facebook page. The more groups that are out there, the better. I don't know if you've ever attended Trades Women Build Nations, but I attended the last one that was in that you could actually go in person, and it was fabulous to see 1,200 tradeswomen. We just overtook that whole hotel. They couldn't handle all of us. It was so fun, and you could just feel this power. It was just this incredible strength And I don't know, it just moved me. It shook me forever. I can't wait until we can meet face to face again. The Tradeswomen Build Nations did do a virtual event, which UA was very involved in. Laura Seha, she hosted it. McManus did a presentation. We did the political engagement committee was all UA women. It was Tradeswomen Build Nations this year was really awesome as well. But to get 1,200 tradeswomen together, that's really awesome. And you know, like you said, to have women come together, like you and I, when we first met was in Ontario. That was when I was temporarily working for UA Canada. There are organizations that are getting women together, and I really think that we need that. We really need that. I'm in Alberta. I'm a member of Build Together. There is a similar committee in Ontario that has just recently developed, which I was a part of when I was with UA Canada, and I think it's fabulous. Getting us together, there's strength in numbers, right? There's definitely strength in numbers. Anyways, I have more questions for you. So what does a day in the life of Courtney Chard look like?
So in the trade, we get up really early. So I'm usually on the road by 5 a.m. to be on site for 6. So I'm working with Plan Group right now, and I'm a mobile welder. So I have a welding rig, and then I have, I think 3 welding machines on there. So I have a battery welding machine, I have the diesel generator, and then I have also a little buzz box that can be hooked in to an electrical panel. And I do a lot of hot taps. So a hot tap is, say there's a live line, you can't shut it down, I will weld a threadlet onto the live line, and then we will drill into it and then leave a connection, a valve. So I do a lot of that. So I bounce around the city quite a lot, and I like it. I get to see, so I'm still with the same company, but I get to see different crews. So it's kind of good. It's exciting. I'm not stuck on a large construction project for 2 years. I like to move around, and I'm in different places. So that's good for me. So during the week, you just pretty much come home, you're tired, you cook dinner, you do a little bit of homework with the kid, and then go to bed. On the weekends, I'm definitely in my shop creating art and filling orders. So that's pretty much my life. And then I do dedicate time to volunteer and work with Kick-Ass and do things like this, podcasts, and educate. Yeah.
Okay, so now before I move on to my final couple of questions, I would like you to let us know how we can find you and your art. Do you have a website?
Okay.
Do you have a business?
I do. So my business is Creative Welding. So I have a website. It's creativewelding.com. It's the A is an 8, like the number 8, and then creativewelding.com. I'm also on Facebook, Courtney Chard, and my Instagram is my last name first name last, so Chard Courtney. So that's how you can find me. You can also go through Kick-Ass Careers too, if you want to find us.
Now, that was my other thing that I wanted to ask you about. Can you tell us a little bit about Kick-Ass Careers? Because I have not discussed it in any of my podcasts yet. You are an ambassador for Kick-Ass Careers. I'm in Alberta. These podcasts are intended to be shared throughout Canada and the United States. So if anybody like me does not know much about Kick-Ass Careers, can you tell us what it's about?
Okay, so what we do is we educate youth on the trades, and we do that mostly through keynote speaking. And the goal is to get the word out through the younger ages. So by the time you kind of get to high school, we've already found it's too late. So we try to go to the junior schools. So grades 6, 7, and 8, that seems to be the age group, believe it or not, that you want to reach, and let them know that the trades are an option for them. And that's basically what we do. So we do that through mentorship and education. And we have a couple child ambassadors. We do a little thing with Kick-Ass Kids, and we take inspirational stories from children who are doing amazing things, whether they have a learning disability and they keep striving to better themselves, or they're a motocross racer, or they're you know, martial artists, whatever. So we basically showcase anyone who's kick-ass.
That is incredible. I love that. I'm going to definitely, once we're done this podcast, I'm going to do some more research on Kick-Ass. I've heard about it a bit, but I don't know the full story. So thank you so much for sharing. A little plug for Kick-Ass there. What is the website for Kick-Ass Careers?
It is Journeyman or kickasscareers.org. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Okay. We will check that out for sure. So a final couple of questions. Do you have advice for others who may be looking into joining the trades?
I would definitely suggest, if you're interested, it depends on your age. If you're interested in joining the trades, the colleges now offer complete like trade programs. So if you're not even sure about what type of trade you would like to go into, I believe Humber College, maybe Conestoga and Sheridan, they kind of have like an introduction to the trades where you get your hands on like a little bit of each. So that's always a good opportunity. And if you're more specific and you know what you want to do, you can again go to the colleges and, you know, go right into a welding or plumbing or electrical program. So that definitely always helps. You can reach out your local union. They could provide some more information. But right now, even just on social media, you can hook up with, again, different social media platforms, and you can get information from there. OYAP, Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Programs, they offer information. I think they work within the high schools. So there is information out there, but the main thing is, you know what, try it. Like, what's the worst that can happen? You don't like it, so you do something else.
I know. Just try it. That's all that I usually preach is just try it because you have no idea how much fun it is. I mean, you and I have been in it for so long and it's fun. Like it's really fun. You look forward to going to work when you do something like this. And I mean, how cool is melting metal? You and I get to
Yeah,
do that.
yeah,
I usually say it's the only trade that's both hot and cool at the same time,
it's true.
right?
It is. I
It's
didn't
true.
know what
It's
that
true.
meant till I became a welder. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to give you the final remarks. Is there anything you'd like to share or anything that I have not covered that you'd like to share on this platform?
You know what? I think we covered it. I don't really have anything else to say.
You and I have talked so much. You did mention something before we started recording about being the mom. And I can relate to that, being the female on the site, and we seem to be looked at as the mom. To me, that doesn't bother me.
No.
Apparently, it's happened to you too. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I seem to, because I've been in the trade for a while now, and it seems that whenever there's a young girl who has come into the trade, and maybe she's working with a different company or a different site, the guys will say, "Do you know Courtney? You should really give her a call." You know, so I seem to get, yeah, looked at as the mom or the person you should talk to. And you know what? That's quite a compliment. I really like that. So I don't mind that role. I try my best to be honest and answer as many emails and questions as possible. And again, show compassion and just try to be there for support because we all need it for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, like I said to you earlier, I never minded. They didn't officially start calling me mom, but I'm at that age where I think that it's going to start, hey, mom, can I have a Band-Aid? Hey, mom, what about this? And what do I do? My girlfriend's mad at me, that kind of thing. So it's sweet. It's really sweet. So yeah, I mean, women are being welcomed more and more in the trades, but still we don't have the numbers up. I think right now it's about 3 or 4% across Canada of tradespeople that are women, right? I really just want to get the word out there to women that it is a possible career option for them. You and I have done it. We're still doing it. There's a lot of different things too. You can get on your executive board. You could become a welding artist. There's a lot more options once you really dig in. It's really great. So thank you very much for sharing your story here. I
Thank,
so appreciate you taking the time to share your story.
thank you for having me.
I'm gonna stop recording now, but don't go anywhere. I give swag to people that join the podcast, so we're going to have a little chat afterwards. But thank you very much, and you take care. And yes, I hope people check you out, and I hope this increases your art sales. I'm definitely going to look into that. I make my own art, but I want to see what you've been making because it is a
Thank
lot of
you.
fun. Okay, thank you again, Courtney, and I'll talk to you shortly. Thanks.
Bye.